Hello. Thank you for your patience. Here I am, getting it in the nick of time, which now I understand why that was said, because surgery was so awful back in the day. If you don't know that, you could watch The Nick, but you could also just look up The Nick of Time. I can't tell you more because I don't have it more descriptively. Anyways, I'm here for a different reason. It's called the reading. Hi! I am reading from the Numinous Tarot today by Cedar. They are non-binary, and so is the deck. And the Numinous Tarot is also gender non-conforming. So where we might have kings or queens and things like that in other decks, it will be other things in here. And I haven't turned over the cards yet, but I'm about to, so let's see what it is. Let's see about it. Okay. March reading: concern, opportunity, obstacle, advantage, aversion. Our concern card, which is what is going on outside of us, that is basically commanding our attention. The Hanged One. The Hanged One is major arcana. If you've been following these readings for a while, or just know your tarot, obviously, where major arcana has to do with our spiritual purpose, life purpose. I like to say to my clients, it's not who am I, that's an intellectual question. It's existence, why did you choose me to be a part of this whole situation? Like, why the fuck was I necessary to the whole shebang? And then the answer is your existence. But we still ask the question because humanity learns through negation and limitation and negative affirmation. And so usually we doubt and we wonder at what is evident, that we are alive, that we are here, that we are conscious. Which is kind of perfect because the Hanged One is really about that energy of, I mean, when they are in their ascendant energy, in their positive polarity, they are very much about understanding the, I guess, because of our social conditioning being a homogenizer and a lack of diversifier, that we would think of it as like the extraneous aspects of existence. But like, existence is always a spectrum. There's no like center point. It's not linear. If anything, it's going up at all times. And so like, what is center and what is much and what is less is like so contingent upon the entire journey. But we are masters of limitation as humanity. And so oftentimes the person who is the Hanged One seems like, I really hope that didn't come on the screen. But like, that we are in a position where this card seems like this person can deal with the extremes or the extremities of existence. And, but really they understand that there's nothing within existence that isn't a part of it. And so when they engage with what seems like extreme situations, as evidenced by the fact that this card lives in a position that for most of us would eventually kill us from the blood rushing to our head, that they are at a state in their existence, in their ascendant energy, where they are able to find equilibrium regardless of circumstances. This is the ideal, right? Okay, but this is the concern, what's going on without us. On the more negatory side of this card, we're dealing with somebody who has such anxiety about existence that they feel that they are either have no control and there's no point of control, or they use control as a form of feeling in control. But usually it's an abuse of structure. It's not, I mean, it's not so much abuse of power. I mean, of course, there's aspects of it that are an abuse of power, but like an abuse of structure means that you give yourself a formation, a belief, a practice, and then you use it to punish yourself, as opposed to actually like build something, which is what a structure is for. Or shelter something, which is what a structure is for. And so, but we're using it to push down instead of, excavate, lift, live, exhume, even exhibit. I mean, that's like the least of them, but still. The point is to extend, to be extensive, because you are here and there is movement, and like that is the prerogative of existence. So the question is, are you going to use existence to trust existence, or are you going to use existence to not trust existence? Either way, the security is you're using existence. And since you can seemingly do either in both, which means that all are sanctioned, why not choose the one that you prefer, that you think makes you feel better and gives you the quality of life in the here and now that is so much more important than the dreaming of a life that you won't get to if you don't actually ground it in your own existence. Like, how do you live a life that you don't live? You know? Card number 2, our opportunity, our obstacle. What outside of us, whether it's the concern or our reaction to the concern or the concern's reaction to us, like, are we seeing those as blockades? Are we seeing those as elevation stones? You might have called them stepping stones, but I'm walking away from I am moving away from my ableist language. And so I will not be calling it stepping stone. I will be calling it elevation stone. And I will not be walking away from it. I will be moving away from it. It's a practice, motherfuckers. Okay? So, card number 2. The 5 of Vials. And Vials in this deck, let me push it out a little bit. There we go. And Vials in this deck is cups, chalices. And we know that the 5 of Cups is about fixating and focusing on what we don't have, about a sort of lamentation and a feeling put upon or burdened or not supported, or like we don't have the resources that we need, or we can't cultivate the kind of environment that we prefer. And so there is a grieving aspect to this card, right? Like, look, like the potion is spilled, the flowers are like dying, and yet there's this living stuff and this potion back here, but that person isn't looking at that, right? The person is looking away. And so the opportunity and the obstacle in this is that, you know, there is loss right now. Entire industries, entire human people, entire communities, entire livelihoods, entire periods of time, entire moments and opportunities. Significant things are I don't even know if calling them lost is even fair, but like significant things are not happening in the witnessing of others who wish to witness those things. And that's something to consider, you know. The times, they are changing, and we really don't know what the culture that we're going to come back into is, especially because so many of us are of the age where, you know, in 5 to 10 years, we are the individuals entering into what seem like the halls of power and governance to us, to generations before us, but is so close to where we're going to be. You know, we're going to be the individuals saying, this is the way it is, making that shit up every day as we go choose the way it is by our decision making. So the 5 of Vials is here to sort of be like, you can take, I call it the synchronicity markers, right? Existence has synchronicity markers, and the synchronicity markers can always give you a sense of your right timing, because time is infinite, but right timing is about like intermingling infinities. So there's like a lot more at play, okay? But with right timing, synchronicity markers, it's more like existence affirms through positive synchronicity, existence allows through neutral synchronicity, and existence denies through negative synchronicity. So like, you don't have to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't have to do anything inordinate. You do what you actually feel called to do, and then see if existence affirms it by compounding it, appreciating it, expanding upon it, extending upon it. If existence allows it by neither making it seem particularly positive or making it seem particularly negative. Or you can see if existence denies by giving you blocks at every turn, in which case that's not the direction. The direction is somewhere else. So the opportunity of using what we don't have, or what we don't prefer, or those experiences that for us were negative, is to go in the direction of that which we do prefer, and that which we do want to embody, and that which we do say we care to have, right? Because we are the decision makers. We are the ones creating culture in real time, and we are the ones deciding what is and what isn't reality as far as we are allowed to define it. And so the opportunity here is really to stop fixating on and spending energy on the things that we don't prefer, but giving our energy and our attention to the things that we say we wish we were investing in, to whatever degree that you can do that, insofar as you can do it, taking it as far as you can take it, without insisting on the outcome. And in fact, not needing to insist on the outcome, because you have the synchronicity marker there to tell you whether you're going in the right direction. And it's, again, it's about right timing. It's not about an ultimatum that you can never have this thing, but right timing is definitely about like left, right, 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 left, right, 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 pause, turn around, oh, back, left, right. I mean, that's just the way that it is. Word to Aaliyah, okay? So last but not least, what we have, and I think this is actually a particularly special card in the Numinous Tarot, because I don't think it's representative of any other card, but our advantage aversion, the thing within us that we can use to either help us or hinder us of our own character, is the awakening. And we see a person in the distance with some symbology above them. So forgive me while I look in the book, because I actually don't think this is a card, but then I'll speak to whether I'm speaking accurately or not. Here we go. Oh, maybe it is. Let me see. Ah, it is. In this card, of course, in this deck, it is what we would archetypally in the more westernized traditional tarots call judgment. Jugement. I'm sure you don't say it like that, but I did. So what about our character can help us or hinder us? Too much judgment. And also, this is why you don't fixate on what you don't prefer. Like, if it's not for you, if you can't be yourself around it, if you bend over backwards and you try everything you know in the book and you're still denied, then the conversation is more about where are you being affirmed, right? Like, existence is not just going to deny you, or else you would not have been born, because that's the ultimate denial, that you don't even get to be a part, okay? But it will give you direction. And like, to give you direction, you must have dimension to your perspective. Like, if you, otherwise, why wouldn't you would already, like, if there was only one direction, you would already know. If there was only one direction, we would all already know, because it would be so apparent by the fact that every motherfucker before us went in the same direction. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this practical, actual sobriety you have to have when you consider things. There's a difference between discernment and judgment. There's a difference between observation and judgment. There's a difference between assessment and judgment. Judgment is suggesting that anything is good or bad based on whatever spectrum at that time you feel is most significant to you, right? Because it could be different in 5 years. It was different 5 years before. When you were a baby, you had completely different fucking opinions. So it's relative, number one. And then two, other people get to feel however they want. So the conversation comes down to the conversation's always going to come down to what we prefer. And even though we focus on what we don't prefer, and there's like a lot of do not laws, it creates a culture where we are more or less focused on the things that we're denying, and much less attentive to all those things that we affirm. And then it makes engagement about a picking apart or like a dissection, when it's always a collaboration, a dance, a conversation, a collective, you know? So even though, I mean, and probably, you know, y'all know my birthday is tomorrow. If you don't know now, you know. And like, I understand Venus is in Pisces. My Venus is in Aquarius, but my Mercury and my Sun are in Pisces. So I appreciate that it's a very emotional time. I too have felt very emotional. So I can appreciate that our cards are not like, sparkle, sparkle time, seemingly. But it's better to know what you cannot hold, cannot rock with, what cannot hold or rock with you, so that you can be on the way to what actually is affirming to you. Because again, we're using existence to trust existence, prefer existence, like existence, appreciate existence. And we're using existence to not trust existence, to not appreciate existence, to not like existence, to not enjoy existence. And that is down to ourselves. So use your ability to discern and choose to make life more preferable to you, and go as strongly in that direction as you have been taught to go and conditioned to go in the opposition of it. Because you don't have to worry about what's behind you if you know where you're going. You will get there, or you will die on the way to where you need to be. And either way, that's sort of the prerogative of being who you are and being on the journey of that. And more or less impossible to evade. You're always going to die where you need to be, but that doesn't mean you are conscious of that. And that's the privilege of matching existence's velocity and momentum and dynamic neutrality, is that you can know and be at a level of like supremeness for yourself that is so potent and poignant that like no matter where you are, it's felt. So I wish that for you. Not only Pisces season, but all seasons. Thank you for your patience. Other things coming likely this weekend because life has gotten quickly and February is a shorter month than all the other ones. My love to you. Take care of yourselves. Hope to see you at my listening party, album party tomorrow on both IG Live and Zoom. I'll provide the links to Zoom, and if you're on the IG, you can find me on there. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good one. Bye.